You know that giant 7-block eyesore in downtown known as Horton Plaza? What was once a depressing mall struggling to stay open prior to COVID was closed down completely, bought to be redeveloped into a new, vibrant, cutting-edge business district known as the campus at Horton. Well, it sounds like that eyesore might be sticking around a heck of a lot longer than expected. Concerned? Maybe you should be. If things don't get figured out, it's only a matter of time before the homeless invade and take it over. Sit tight, I'll uncover the details of what's happening with this project and how it'll affect us here in San Diego. This year, 4,000 new rental apartments will hit the market. With a massive housing crisis in San Diego, this news comes as a sigh of relief. But here's the catch. They're not coming cheap. I'll share with you more what to expect and how much it's gonna cost for these new units. This and more covered in this week's San Diego Market Matters, and I'm Karl Kyler, your San Diego Realtor. Are you enjoying these videos? If so, let me know by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. And if you're thinking of selling or buying here in San Diego, I have my contact info in the description below. Let's connect to see how we can make your next move happen for you. Now, let's get into the good stuff. Quick market check-in. We didn't have anything too significant happen this week other than mortgage rates dropping a little bit lower than last week. This is the lowest we've seen them since mid-December of 2024. Hopefully, mortgage rates will stabilize slightly below 7% for the upcoming weeks. For the sake of brevity, let's leave it at that for this week. Now, on to grander things. We, as in San Diego, are at a crossroads with the Horton Plaza redevelopment.
That's it! It's the crossroads!
A project that was promised to revitalize a massive 7-block area in the heart of downtown. Horton Plaza was slated for a complete transformation into the campus at Horton, aimed to source new life with 700,000 square feet of creative space and 300 square feet of retail and amenities. However, this vision is now jeopardized as the project teeters on the edge of foreclosure, with the Stockdale Capital Partners needing to secure $351.2 million within the next 90 days to keep their plans alive. The context of this development isn't about a single project. It speaks to a broader trend in San Diego's commercial real estate space. Notably, San Diego's office vacancy rate currently exceeds the national average, a signal of a deeper market shift despite all the return to office talk. For instance, Tower 180, a downtown building, was purchased for conversion from commercial to residential use in 2023 after facing extended vacancy. Why then does the Horton Plaza redevelopment focus heavily on business and commercial spaces? This question becomes even more pertinent given the current market conditions. If San Diego is already experiencing higher vacancy rates and a residential housing crisis, the push to create a business-centric district in an already saturated market might seem a step out of reality, especially with the Seaport redevelopment project underway and the RAD, the Research and Development District, right next to Seaport and across the street from the USS Medway. That started opening up last year. We don't need 700,000 square feet of space for businesses. 80% of that should have been converted to housing, with the base floor being left for places like food establishments, markets, bars, and even convenience shops. Moreover, the potential impact of the Horton Plaza struggles extend beyond the project itself. It could influence perceptions and decisions around urban development across San Diego. If a high-profile project like this can falter, hopefully this will prompt a reassessment of how and where the city needs to grow its urban spaces. As a resident or potential investor here in San Diego, keeping an eye on the Horton Plaza saga is not a bad idea. It's not about the loss or success of a development project, but rather understanding the shifts in the real estate market that might dictate future trends in both commercial and the residential development space. And if the project goes south, this can't go well for downtown. It'll only be a matter of time before the homeless invade the space and turn it into a giant dump or toilet for the next investor to have to clean up. And God only knows how long that'll take.
There goes the neighborhood.
Now let's move on to some good news regarding more residential units coming to the market here in San Diego. As San Diego continues to grow, so does its housing market, but not in the ways you might expect or want. This year, over 4,000 new apartments are set to open across the county, from Oceanside all the way down to the border. This marks another significant year for multifamily construction. Despite a noticeable slowdown in rent increases, the new developments are set to command premium prices. The largest of these, the Alexian Camellia in the Convoy Asian Cultural District, you know, where all the killer Asian food is in Kearny Mesa, this development will offer 531 units. Though the rents haven't been set, the initial estimates suggest that they are not being built for a middle-class San Diegan. The expected sticker shock supports the trend where new apartments charge upwards of $3,000 a month for a one-bedroom. The next largest development is Broadstone Mission Valley, releasing 497 units there. And if you know anything about Broadstone and the Mission Valley hype, the price for these units are definitely going to be more elevated. This begs the question, but why are these rents so high on these new developments? Nathan Motor, a principal with real estate analyst London Motor Advisors, points to the soaring cost of construction as a primary driver. Unlike the concentrated developments in the past in downtown and in Chula Vista, this year's projects are more geographically dispersed, potentially preventing the competition that initially or typically drives rents down. But I got a much simpler explanation. The reason these new developments charge these high rents is because they can and people are willing to pay for it. If people aren't willing to pay for it, then they cannot command these elevated prices. Simple as that. Despite this, developers might still offer concessions like several free weeks of rent to attract tenants. This is currently being offered at 800 Broadway, a new development dropping 384 units this year and provides the most amenities in the area that includes a 40th floor pool. The units start a few dollars below $3,000 a month for a one bedroom. And something to keep in mind is that rent typically gets more expensive the higher you go in the building. Currently, the average rent in San Diego County hovers around $24.97, and for the last year, rent prices have been pretty flat. The vacancy rate, meanwhile, has slightly decreased from 5.45% to 5.3% since the second quarter of 2024, hinting at a pretty stable rental market. Now, what does this construction mean for the rental market going forward? The influx of 4,000 units, while significant, is only a drop in the bucket compared to the state mandated need for housing. San Diego needs 13,500 new homes per year to meet demand, far more than what's currently being built. This brings us to an important point, the potential impact of these new units on the market. While it's unlikely that this wave of high-end rentals will drastically alter the sales market, it could influence rental prices. If the market struggles to absorb these units, we might see rental prices dip slightly. If these units are absorbed without a hitch, that's 4,000 residents that decided to rent at these elevated prices in lieu of owning a home. Bullshit. This scenario could communicate with us that renting is more attractive than the idea of home ownership despite its investment benefits, especially for those seeking modern amenities without the permanence of home ownership. With affordability as a regular hot topic, these developments could offer a temporary reprieve for some residents, allowing them to leverage the amenities of new construction without committing to a mortgage with a mortgage rate in the 7% range. Yet this is contingent on rental prices stabilizing or declining, an outcome that isn't guaranteed. As we watch these developments unfold, weigh your options out thoroughly before making your next move. Maybe it makes sense to stay as a renter to keep your overhead low, and I say the word low very loosely, versus investing in a home right now where your finances might not be as dialed in and stable as you'd like them to be. And that's a wrap for this week's San Diego Market Matters. Thanks for hanging around with me in this episode. I broke into the 200 range for subscribers last week, so thank you for watching and subscribing. If you enjoyed this video and haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so now, or check out my other content to see if I can win you over then. This video right here is one I'm particularly excited about. It's how you can accelerate the growth of your down payment for your next home, as well as this one, which is a full breakdown of all the costs when buying a home here in San Diego. As always, I'm Karl Kyler, your San Diego Realtor. I'll see you next video.